Have you ever wished you could see the unseen? To peer into the hidden realms beyond our physical world and receive divine insight, supernatural wisdom, and prophetic direction for your life? Well, my friend, I'm here to tell you that this isn't just some mystical fantasy. It's your God-given birthright as a child of the Most High. The ability to see and hear from the spiritual realm is available to every single believer. You see, we're not just physical beings trapped in a material world. No, we are first and foremost spiritual creatures, fashioned in the very image of God Himself. Before we ever had a body of flesh and blood, we existed as spiritual entities in the heavenly realms. And even now, as we navigate this earthly life, our true identity is that of a spiritual being. We have an eternal soul that will outlive our temporary physical form. We have senses and faculties that transcend the natural world. The problem is, most of us have become so accustomed to living in the visible, tangible realm that we've neglected the unseen, supernatural dimension all around us. We know how to control our physical bodies, but we haven't learned to master our spiritual ones. Imagine being able to wake up every morning and immediately receive a fresh word, vision, or prophetic download from the Lord. Imagine walking through your day with divine insight and clarity, seeing the plans of God unfold before your very eyes. This isn't some far-fetched fantasy. It's the birthright of every believer. And the key is learning to tap into your spiritual senses and operate in the realm of the Spirit. You see, the Bible is full of examples of ordinary men and women who walked in supernatural sight and revelation. Prophets like Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Daniel had profound visions and encounters with the divine. The Apostle John in the book of Revelation said, "I turned to see the voice that was speaking to me." Did you catch that? He turned to see the voice. You see, in the spirit realm, God often communicates through images, pictures, and visions, rather than just audible words. His voice manifests in the form of spiritual sight and revelation. The prophet Habakkuk had a similar experience. He said, "I will stand at my watch and station myself on the ramparts. I will look to see what he will say to me." Again, he was expecting to see the word of the Lord, not just hear it. You see, many of us have been seeing the word of God, but we just didn't recognize it. For example, let's say I tell you that I saw a big white elephant with a golden trunk. Immediately, an image of that elephant appears in your mind, even though you've never seen a real-life picture of it. That's exactly how God often speaks to us in the Spirit. He'll give us a word or an impression, and our imagination will paint the picture for us. But we mistakenly think we're just imagining things, when in reality, God is communicating with us through visions and images. The same thing happened to the Apostle John in the book of Revelation. When he said he turned to see the voice, he saw a vision of 7 golden lampstands. The voice of God had manifested as a visual image rather than just an audible sound. Imagine standing in the middle of a bustling city, yet being able to tune out all the noise and distractions around you. Imagine focusing your gaze on the heavens and suddenly receiving a word, vision, or divine download that changes the entire trajectory of your life. This isn't some far-fetched fantasy. It's the birthright of every believer. And the key is learning to tap into your spiritual senses and operate in the realm of the Spirit. You see, the spirit realm is just as active and bustling as the physical world. But if we don't intentionally look and listen, we'll miss out on all that God is trying to show and say to us. That's why the Bible tells us to be still and know that I am God. It's in those quiet, expectant moments that we position ourselves to receive heavenly downloads and divine revelation. So how do we learn to tap into this supernatural ability to see and hear from God? It all comes down to a principle the Bible calls gazing, or turning to see. In the original Greek, the word see that John and Habakkuk used actually means to gaze at, to turn one's thoughts or attention to something, to fix one's eyes upon. In other words, it's an intentional, focused act of looking and listening in the Spirit. All you have to do is set aside time each day to sit quietly before the Lord with an attitude of anticipation and focus. As you keep your heart and mind fixed on Him, you'll begin to see visions, hear words, and receive supernatural insights. At first, it may take some time and practice to get the hang of it, but the more you exercise this spiritual muscle, the quicker and more accurate your spiritual sight will become. Soon, you'll be seeing and hearing from God with such clarity that people will start to wonder if you've become a modern-day prophet. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to have a special prophetic gift to operate in this realm. Even if you've never seen a vision or heard an audible voice from God before, you can still learn to tap into the spiritual senses that are already within you. My friend, the ability to see and hear from God is your birthright as a child of the Most High. You were created in the image of the divine, with spiritual faculties that transcend the physical world. So I encourage you, set aside time each day to sit quietly before the Lord, with an attitude of expectation and focus. As you keep your heart and mind fixed on Him, you'll begin to see visions, hear words, and receive divine insights that will transform every area of your life.